If you do spoof, it is your business. It is your reason as to why you spoof. I do not hate you for that as a person, because, you know, Pokemon Go is just a game at the end of the day. Hello everyone, it is Favorite and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna do a Q&A. We have about 50-ish questions. I'm gonna try to answer as many as I can, but we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Is this better in any way, shape or form? Let me know in the comments. Give me feedback. Do you appreciate the quality of the camera? Because I just upgraded from a point and shoot, which is this Canon G7X Mark II with a wind muffler, so that way it doesn't no wind gets added to the sound recording, a little bit maybe, to this A6500 by Sony with a separate lens. I actually got this lens which kind of came with it, looks like this. And the one that I'm currently using is the f4 10 to 18mm lens. So I'm not really like super home, but I did some basic homework in regards to the usability of this camera. So I really got no idea. This is my very first recording with this camera, but I'm super excited. Start of the new chapter, make things a little bit more cinematic if I can, make the quality of the videos a little bit better. That being said, I actually wanted to test this camera for Q&A here on Twitter, so I actually asked people to ask me anything. So the first question from my good friend Elijah Watts, fellow content creator, says, why do you help bring up small YouTubers and give them a platform? Most YouTubers won't do that. Well, most YouTubers also didn't have the experience that I had with my other YouTube channel, which I made 7 years ago. 7 years ago, or maybe by now 8 years ago, I used to have a gaming channel by the name of Genetic LPs, in which I did Nintendo content, Nintendo Let's Plays, which was kind of like upcoming at that point. And I used to be in this Skype group with fellow YouTube content creators, and that was a lot of fun. But there were a couple of moments where some of the people in the group grew to a substantial amount, like 5,000 subscribers at that time. That's kind of comparable to like 50,000 subscribers right now. And these people started getting very full of themselves, started treating us as if we weren't worthy anymore to talk to them anymore. I kind of have the mindset that, you know, everybody deserves a chance. If there's any content creator out there who makes really amazing content, I really do like to feature that. So people like Scott who got discovered through the stream that I did. Kyler is a great content creator who actually responded on Elijah Watts' tweet, so yeah, definitely give these guys a look. And there's gonna be some other smaller, under like 2,000 subscriber content creators which I recommend you guys should check out, so I'll leave a link to those in the description down below. But yeah, essentially I didn't want to be that person. No matter my subscriber count, it doesn't make me a better person in any way, shape or form. It just gives me the power and the ability to speak to more people, so I want to use my platform for stuff like this. Dark Metal Wolf, Kaka, do you love me? Are you riding? It's actually Kiki. Okay man, this one's for you. Say you never ever leave from beside me, cause I want you and I need you and I'm down for you always. Come visit me in Japan. We should hang out, talk a little bit more, get to know each other a little bit better. Next up, Zoe 2 Dots, fellow content creator. Check her out, she's amazing, she's a good egg. What are you most looking forward to for your upcoming Japan trip, both in game and out of the game? So in game, obviously getting a bunch of Stardust during the after event that's going to be happening after Yokosuka is actually still ongoing. But triple Stardust for catches, that's going to be really insane. I want to try to get to 10 million dust as soon as I can. The Yokosuka special Safari Zone badge looks amazing. So as far as Pokemon Go concerned, those are the things I'm really excited for. As far as outside of Pokemon Go, mostly just Japan. Shooting with the crew is gonna be amazing for the final episode in the Pokemon Go travel series. If you haven't watched those yet, I'm gonna leave a link to that in the description down below. Meeting the fellow YouTubers once again, meeting you Zoe, that's gonna be really cool as well. But one plan I specifically got is to actually explore Japan more than I did last time. Last time I went to Ishinomaki in the Tottori area, along with Bantam1, who unfortunately doesn't make Pokemon Go videos anymore. Please make one if you can. And Nick as well, that's where I met Trainer Tips. So we're actually planning to go back there, see what it's like 2 years after, and maybe we can play some Pokemon Go down there. You know, I'm really excited for those kind of things. So definitely those things are kind of like on the agenda. Next up we got Seganate, friend of mine as well from Philadelphia. So, public question, what's your favorite non-Pokemon experience you've had so far on your world tour? Meeting people, really just meeting people, tasting different cultures, seeing what people are all about in their local areas. I think taking the tourist route in traveling is cool, and meeting all the checking out all the touristy attractions and stuff, I think it's cool, but I really like knowing and figuring out what it's like more for locals. So that's why I kind of prefer Airbnbs to like hotels and such, because it's so cool to get that actual more authentic experience. Emily, ABCDG Star is asking me, after Regirock, who do you think will be making an appearance? Shiny Moltres, Shiny Groudon, Shiny Rayquaza. Shiny Moltres is actually going to be happening during Regirock. The special unlock that's going to be happening, I mean, we're definitely going to crush that for sure. Will be Shiny Moltres during like a Moltres day like Articuno and Zapdos. I think Shiny Groudon, Shiny Rayquaza, one of those two is gonna be the legendary after, because we had Shiny Kyogre already. We definitely do Shiny Groudon, so I would say Shiny Groudon first. Shiny Rayquaza kind of have mixed feelings. I did 430 Rayquaza raids and I haven't seen a single 100% IV Rayquaza, so hopefully when that comes back, I'll be able to get myself that one. With a Sparkle, find a Pokemon in your storage you kept for a special reason and explain why. Kind of every single Pokemon that I encounter in a different country where I haven't visited before, I try to keep that Pokemon. So United States, Canada, Iceland, where I had like a layover, Japan. I still got a Copenhagen Lapras, so I'm trying to keep one of every single country if I can. So yeah, just basically that really. I'm very strict when it comes down to my storage. I transfer a bunch of shinies because I will never power them up, and I don't feel like spending a bunch of Stardust just trading the shinies with everybody out there. I just personally don't think that, you know, 40,000 dust for a shiny trade is worth it. I'd rather find it in the wild than trading it away. So I'm really kind of, you know, picky on my dust in that regard. But yeah, just mostly those type of Pokemon that have a lot of meaning to them. Next up is Gopak. He's asking, out of all the shinies already in the game, which one's your favorite and why? I would have to go with Charizard. Very traditional, but it just looks the coolest. The dark glow Charizard just looks amazing. I'm an absolute fan of that one. Another one that I really like is Shiny Shelter. Looks amazing. One that I really want to get is the Chocolate Banana Dog, which is going to be Poochyena. Snorunt looks really amazing as well, but if Ponyta and Vulpix as shinies are released in the game, it's gonna be all over. Ponyta with the blue flames and then Ninetales looks stunning. Cannot wait for those. And of course Gengar. I mean Gengar, favorite Pokemon of all time. Cannot wait for that either. Sumeda is asking, what do you do or did other than gaming for fun? I used to watch a lot of movies. I used to be addicted to watching movies. And I would have a subscription for the cinema, 21 euros a month, to go there an unlimited amount of time. And time doesn't allow me to do that anymore, which is really unfortunate. Aside from that, I used to watch a bunch of anime, which I don't have the time to do as well. I do currently watch Attack on Titan Season 3, really excited what's going to be happening down there, which I'm doing on Crunchyroll, hashtag not sponsored, but yeah. And manga, I used to read a lot of manga, don't do that anymore, just don't have the time to do that. At Eevee Kitten, what is a guilty pleasure show that you watch? Really, if I have to choose kind of like a guilty pleasure show, which I really do enjoy, it would be Shark Tank. I think Shark Tank is one of the coolest shows that has ever aired. Unfortunately, I don't think it airs where I live, but I can watch some clips online. So, you know, sometimes I watch a recommended video of like a Shark Tank clip or something amazing that went down. I love the negotiation part and seeing what goes on in the minds of these inventors coming up with their creation and trying to get like a little bit of financial support or just like aid from these sharks in this series. This is a really great show. I recommend you guys watch it. Sahil, what are your goals for the future in and out of Pokemon Go? So for Pokemon Go, I really want to strive to make the best possible content. Hence I upgraded to this brand new camera. But for Pokemon Go specifically, my goals for 2018, continue making videos, travel the world. I want to get the 200 million experience at the end of this year. 10 million dust, 150,000 Pokemon card, I'm currently on 97,000, 25,000 gym battles, 50,000 berries fed, 3.5k on Jogger, complete my regional Gen 3 Pokédex, so I have to travel to Japan in order to get myself Trophius, and then to New Zealand to get myself Relicanth, so I'm working on that. And then out of Pokemon, just try to be more consistent with videos on YouTube, but even more importantly, when I get back from Japan, I'm gonna be working on myself with my personal trainer, really getting more balance in my life. I think that's very important. I started meditating more. I absolutely love it, starting my day off with a clear mind. I know it sounds very cheesy, but these are kind of the things that I'm working on right now as a human being. True Inferno saying, what settings are you using on the new camera, or are you keeping it at default? I legitimately could not really answer that question good because I just started using it. I just looked up a whole bunch of YouTube tutorials, tried to figure out what kind of looks okay, and decided to roll with that. So you guys are gonna be the judge. Does this look good or does it not? I have no idea. I noticed that I'm taking a lot of time on most of these questions. I'm gonna speed it up from this point on forward, unless of course it requires some emphasis as to why I'm responding in that way. Elliot, which is your favorite Gen 4 Legendary? It's gonna be Heatran. Heatran looks amazing. What is the best phone for Pokemon Go in your opinion? I would have to go with an iPhone. And more specifically, I really like my iPhone 8. It responds really well with Go Plus. So far no issues, but that is personal opinion here. I just like my Go Plus working in the best possible way, and iPhone has been proving me very well for that. I also heard that the Razer phone is amazing for the game, but I don't have the phone. I cannot, like, you know, I used a Google Pixel 1 before, which was a great phone on itself, an amazing phone. I like it better than the iPhone, but it didn't really work. It wasn't that smooth with Pokemon Go, and iPhone usually gets the job done. Unfortunate part of Apple is that the APK gets released really late because we need that update still. So yeah, hopefully that's gonna be happening very soon. Brent, Tenshu Assassin, are you coming back to Philly ever? I've probably asked the same question every Q&A. Eventually, yeah, for sure. If there's a really cool event and I have the means and capability of going there, I definitely will be around the area. Because, I mean, I've got a couple of friends living there now, and Philly is great. Roey's asking, why is the update not here yet? Apple needs to approve it. That usually takes some time. That's part of the reason why Apple will always have the updates later than iOS. I have no idea why it's taking this long, because usually it's rather quick. So, I don't know. Hopefully very soon. Nicholas is asking, how do you feel about the Celebi research task? I like it. I like that it's taking some time to get it done. I like the kind of quest that they went with to educate people on Umbreon and Espeon and how to evolve them. So I think that's great. Yeah, I think it's a better one than Mew, that's for sure. 202 Gaming says, what did you study in college, and will your college degree serve as a backup plan if YouTube fails? I never really think YouTube failing into account because I'm already successful at what I'm doing, and if anything goes down, my YouTube career as a whole is a great addition to my resume. I could always get a job in marketing because I'm really great at marketing myself, so that really speaks for itself. I did study business economics, but yeah, it didn't really help me with what I'm doing right now. Chance Gildard, he's asking, when do you predict to reach 200 million experience? That's kind of depending on the situation type of question, and it mostly depends on how many double experience events are we going to be getting in the game, what kind of events are going to be there that is going to be increasing the amount of experience gain. The friendship feature in Pokemon Go is insane for the amount of experience you're going to be able to get. I mean, everybody can get level 40 right now, and you guys cannot tell me different in this matter because, well, if you become best friends with 200 people, you are level 40. That's the amount of experience needed. And then you got ultra friends, so if you lucky egg all of that, all of your ultra friends and all of your best friend status, you'll be at 60 million experience. And guess what? There's 3 months remaining in this year. I'm currently at 113 million experience. I just need to grind it out. And if there's a double experience event, I suppose November maybe? I don't know. Depends. It depends. I really don't know what Niantic is thinking about. Level cap increase? I can only hope. EmoJ is asking, will you add me in Pokemon Go? I need 3 more friends. Unfortunately, my friend list is full, edited with people. Just stay tuned for the live stream raffles that I'm doing. Maybe sometimes I'll drop a friend code or add some people on Twitter, which I have, so you know, stay tuned for all my socials in this particular case. What you guys can do is drop your friend code in the comments below in case you want to share friend codes with one another. Make sure to state what your location is, that way people from different locations can add you, and then make sure to tell these people in the comments, in the replies, what your username is and what your location is, that way they can actually accept your friend request. And potentially on Twitter as well, I made a thread which I'll link in the description down below as well, and it's been very helpful for people to follow each other, so maybe they can turn out to be great friends, ultra friends, or even best friends, and then coordinate when to use a lucky egg. So that's a really great way of doing it. Aldo Reynoso is asking, do your friends that don't speak English complain about you recording in that language? First off, if my friends are complaining about me recording in English, then they're not my friends, because my friends, you know, they take me for who I am as a human being and they know what I do, so no, they're not gonna be complaining. And secondly, most people in the Netherlands actually do know a good amount of Dutch. I mean, I would say in comparison to a lot of the other European countries, I think Netherlands is actually pretty high up there to the ability to be friendly towards international people. We got a lot of exchange programs here in the Netherlands. There's a lot of students, especially in my city. If you ever travel to the Netherlands, you are most likely never going to be having an issue getting around here. Next question, Kerman is asking, are you single? I don't speak about any sort of stuff like that on the channel, if you don't mind. Poke Via Jados is asking, when do you think Mega Evolutions will be available in Pokemon Go? Still got my Dragon Plus or Ampharos ready to evolve. I think soon. I think Gen 4 will drop first, and then just before the release of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. This is just me speculating here, right? But I believe that is a good moment to release Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go. But before you say anything, I know you guys are gonna be like, oh, that's way too early. Well, it was the same with Alolan Pokemon. Alolan Pokemon was very early. But it just so happened that Alolan Pokemon were announced in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and then they suddenly became a thing in Pokemon Go. So that makes me believe that with Ampharos having the Dragon move during that community day, Niantic has definitely had that in mind as far as Pokemon Go concerned. So that makes me believe that we might just get Mega Evolutions very soon. But yeah, that's just what I think. Make sure you share your thoughts on that in the comment section down below, because I think Pokemon Go is like I think Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee is very similar to Pokemon Go in that regard. So yeah, that's just kind of my take on that. Ludo Clack is asking, what would you say is your passion, your true joy in life? Right now it's just making videos that people enjoy. In my last video I kind of elaborated more on that, how my videos have actually meaning to people. So that's what I would like to think, that, you know, my videos, that's currently my passion, filmmaking. Big Josh Hinkle is asking, do you think a new Halloween event will have Shiny Gengar in October? I actually do believe that Shiny Gengar with potentially the Legacy move will be there available during Community Day in October. That would be my dream, because I kind of want to get myself more Legacy move Gengar. Ashire, mayo on French fries, wrong or right, discuss. Not really much of a discussion, it's what you personally prefer. I don't like that. I like it at the side so I can dip it in there, because usually it turns out to be a swamp and then it turns into a slimy mess once you eat it. I don't like a pool of like mayo on my French fries or anything like that, so yeah. J. Kaylor, reversal can you get at Pokemon Go app's attention? I don't know, but Niantic, if you're watching this, potentially try to fix this. But yeah, just try to contact customer support on Niantic. They can help you way more than I can, essentially. Ollie is asking, what's your favorite Pokemon from each generation 1 to 7 and why? Generation 1, Gengar. Generation 2, Sneasel. Generation 3, Absol. Generation 4, Luxray. Gen 5, not super familiar with. Gen 6, not really super familiar with. I'm sorry, I'm gonna study up on those. Gen 7, Mimikyu. David Bartos is asking, what do you think about the new shinies released in the Johto Festival event? Definitely happy with those. I mean, Suncorn is gonna be one. If you don't get it during this event, it's gonna be pretty hard, for me at least, in my biomes and stuff, to obtain that. Pineco is cool, but once again, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to obtain personally. I don't know about your situation, so I'm speaking from the me form here. For me, it's gonna be hard to get Pineco and Suncorn, but Natu is all over the place, so I'm pretty happy. But I hope I will be able to get them soon. Hopefully during the event. Any tips for shiny 100% IV hunting? Just catch Pokemon, a lot of them, and be a part of like groups where people call 100% IV Pokemon, but it's mostly just shiny checking everything. So go to places where there's a bunch of cluster spawns, regular spawns, maybe lure some spots. EU Craze is asking, what do you think will bring Pokemon Go back to the top of the charts? It's already up there at the top of the charts for the most part, really, especially this summer. But PvP, the moment that is released, it's gonna be like on top of the charts for a while, for sure. And PvP stands for player versus player, the ability to battle one another. So just to make that clear for people out there who are not used to gaming terms. And the last question is from Kanat Bola, and I did say I was going to be covering this one extensively. Do you support spoofing, and if not, why? Okay, so I want to get a little bit more serious here. I personally don't support spoofing in any way, shape, or form. But if you do spoof, it is your business. It is your reason as to why you spoof. I do not hate you for that as a person, because, you know, Pokemon Go is just a game at the end of the day. But I really don't like it when people don't take people who actually go out to these locations into consideration, kick them out of gyms, just because they have the ability of doing so. I mean, at the end of the day, people do take time out of their day to go to those physical locations like gyms and raids, to, you know, participate in what Pokemon Go is supposed to be, because that's how the game was built, that's how the game was intended. So yeah, it's kind of like, I understand, of course, that people have certain situations where they don't have the capability of playing legitimately, because maybe you barely have any Pokestops, and that is really unfortunate and it sucks. Would I personally still spoof in that situation? I don't think I would find Pokemon Go as a game interesting enough to do that. Because people do ask me that as well, like, hey, would you personally spoof if you were to be living in these conditions? I don't think I'll be able to sustain Pokemon Go unless I have the means of traveling to a city which is like 20, maybe 30-40 minutes away from where I live. I cannot see, like, there's a lot more better games out there than Pokemon Go. Like, Pokemon Go isn't the same with the community aspect. It's a very bland and still game if you know, if you play it behind your PC or behind, you know, that. The only thing that might be fun is meeting people face to face at one point and be like, hey, I have these Pokemon. And the question is, like, how would you feel about accomplishing them, you know? So I do know of people who actually spoof in real life, and then during raids or whatever, they're like talking about what they've achieved. But I'm like, well, you've been sitting at home while we've gone out and tried to obtain the same thing. It is much more fulfilling to me as an individual to go to these locations myself and play the game the way that I know Pokemon Go is being played. If you don't know that, if you don't know, like, the way that I play Pokemon Go in your own personal situation, then I could understand. Like, I understand why people spoof, but I still, it's not how Pokemon Go is supposed to be played. But at the end of the day, it is your decision. If you think, you know, if you get joy out of spoofing, if you just want to catch these Pokemon by going from location to location just like that, I mean, you do you, you know? Who am I to tell you not to do something, right? I'm just a YouTuber. That's it. I'm not gonna hate on you or anything like that just because you spoof. Like, that's just silly. But people might think that I'm different than that, but really, I'm not. However, I do not like it if I'm doing a live stream and people constantly go #SpoofNation in the chat. That's just being a prick to other people who are trying to enjoy what it is that I'm trying to do. And the same thing, you know, like, why would you go out of your way to try to make someone's other's day miserable by instigating conflict. And that's what some people do. But at the same time, you know, not only spoofers are bad people. Like, I'm not saying that spoofers are bad people as a generalization. There's also people in the legitimate community who play Pokemon Go, go out to locations, who are super duper elitist against everybody and lock people out of their groups. That's the type of people I have even more of an issue with, to be completely honest with you, because those type of people just lack the social skills to comprehend that other people have other things going on, right? So the whole thing with spoofing is not so much per se an issue with people spoofing to locations. Sure, it sucks that it's a thing, in my personal opinion, but I don't think it's like right to rule people out and just hate on people just because they spoof, because that's not what I do. But if people do come up to you and be like, hey, hashtag spoof nation, something like that, yeah, I dislike that. It's just like, there's no contact, it doesn't add anything to the conversation, right? So those are the people that I do take issue with, and I actually vocally have been speaking out to those people. And especially people who have communities, who have people who they influence, people who got, you know, who follow them, who deliberately use that audience to instigate conflict with other people. I mean, I'm just gonna address this once really, but during the Pokemon Go travel campaign, I was actually featured as a content creator, which is amazing. Like, they posted out a picture of me and I was super flattered. But 99% of those comments were incredibly toxic, and you know, and that's mainly because it happened somewhere, and I may have opened my mouth a little bit too much on Twitter, and I do apologize for that, and I've learned from that not to do that. You know, I've really learned throughout YouTube that whatever it is that I experience in a certain way might not be the way that you as a person experience that in the very same way. So I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. I don't hate spoofers, but just try to take other people into consideration. If you happen to spoof in Pokemon Go, think about that people do go out of their way to go visit these locations, and be mindful of the fact that people spend a lot of hours in Pokemon Go. You know, don't bash them then for, you know, actually going out there to those locations. It's kind of silly that people are being hated on for actually going to a location. Like, that's just silly to me. So yeah, that's my take on spoofing. Hope that's cleared up some of the air that we had in regards to this. And I really did actually enjoy this Q&A. I'm gonna do this more often. I just really wanted to test out this camera to see how long it was gonna be able to record. So I do apologize for the really long video, but I hope that you guys enjoyed regardless. That being said, next video, obviously a Pokemon Go video with the old camera. I still got footage of Community Day, which I'm gonna upload. I'm excited to edit that down and put it onto the channel. So that being said, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe if you guys like what you saw. You want to see more of me on the channel, Pokemon Go as a whole. Leave a like if you enjoyed the camera quality, because I need to know that. I need to know whether or not you like this quality. That's like very important to me, because I did invest a bunch into this camera. If it's not good, I'm just gonna get something else in return and see if that's sufficient for your watching pleasure. That being said, this is Reverse for Pokemon Go. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.